just bringing it back to what most people are going through, and a lot of people I know have gone through this, the fidelity, infidelity thing this year. What is the healthy way, number one, of looking at it? What does it mean? What does it really mean when somebody goes and sleeps with somebody else?
I love that question. So one of my favorite therapists who handles issues of infidelity, her name is Esther Perel.
Okay.
And she's done a TED Talk about this called Rethinking Infidelity. And it's about 20 minutes, but probably the 20 or 24 best minutes you will spend.
Where is she from?
She's Belgian, I think.
I've watched
You've watched her, yeah? And I talk about her every chance I get.
Yeah.
We look at infidelity as a rejection of me.
Yes.
You cheated on me because you don't love me. You don't want me.
I wasn't enough for you.
Yes.
Yes.
And you don't value me.
Yeah.
Infidelity.
It's a sign of disrespect.
Yes.
That's how
you
we think
disrespected me.
Yeah.
You will find, in fact, she poses a question, why do good people cheat?
Yes.
The assumption is that if you cheat, you're bad. That's actually not the case. I know it would be nicer if it was the case.
Yeah.
And it would be a better narrative to say you evil cheat.
Yeah, or that chick.
Yeah. It's really one of the things, I don't want to say in every case, but very often when good people cheat, they're actually turning to themselves.
I like that.
That person represents a part of themselves that they were feeling was like dying. They're trying to save themselves in that direction.
Maggie, that is actually, I think, one of the most profound things I have heard about infidelity. So I want you to say that again.
It's a turning toward themselves. It's not against you.
I see.
To be honest, they probably didn't even consider you. They thought if she ever finds out or he ever finds out, it will really hurt them.
Yeah.
But it was never about you.
Yeah.
There are people who come into our lives at different stages and they represent to us the best parts of ourselves as we imagined them or as we remembered them. I used to be such a fun person. Or as we want to be. I used to be such a fun person. Or
I used
people
to really
who,
connect.
People who provide safe spaces for us, right? So let me give you an example. Here is Mona. She has the wild, crazy hair, flower in her side, conservative Kenyan society.
Yes.
So she's a, good married woman. And then here is John.
Yeah.
And when he's with Mona, he just reflects to her like, my God, you're gorgeous. And I love that flower on your side. Girl, you're so spunky. And this is her perception of herself. Why she wears these flowers, because this is how she feels really.
So somebody has articulated it.
So she's turning towards her highest self there. Because the partner she chose probably reflects to her, look, you can't go to church looking like that. People will think I don't have your comb.
Yeah, comb your hair.
Honey, I don't buy you hair oil. Do you know what I mean? I'll buy you a Brazilian wig. Just please look.
Straighten it at least. Yeah.
At least, right? At least is like, I will put up with you, but at the very least.
Yeah.
So you're already saying, oh my gosh, because you're like, oh my God, get me out of here. But because you made a commitment, you're a good, Kikuyu say, mutumia gada, like the Proverbs 31. Mutumia gada, I think, is that word that means like
a good woman.
Good woman, solid. And then here is John, who just... He's not even flattering you. He's just created this space for you
where you can breathe.
And breathe, right? And what is breath? It's freedom. And so you're really leaning there because he represents to you freedom. And the place where you can be and feel your best and highest self in terms of this aspect, right?
And so you express it, which is the ultimate expression.
Yes. And a lot of good people will tell you it wasn't even about sex. And you say, you blew up our marriage and it wasn't even about sex.
And worse yet, it wasn't even about you. I think that's one thing nobody ever wants to hear.
It wasn't even about you.
It's not, you did not even come into this conversation.
And it's fair. It's fair to say, what do you mean it's not about me? Which can even feel worse.
Yes, it feels worse.
It would be better if you just said you weren't giving me enough sex. Then
or you were angry.
I can respond, or I was angry, or I was, whatever. But to imagine that you can find your highest self elsewhere can be very difficult.
Why is it, because that's the thing that always trips me up with monogamy, why is it that we feel we must demand everything from this one person? Maybe this one person does not have the capability to appreciate my shaggy hair and the flower, and so I make it that they must do it, and if they fail at it and I end up somewhere else, it becomes a problem. Why can't we accept that sometimes multiple people will speak into our lives and our needs?
It's incredible that you said that to me, because there's a theorist by the name of Virginia Satir that I use a lot in my work, and I think very highly of. And she talks about the 8 intimacies, and I won't go into them, but she talks about the fact that a healthy couple will probably have 3 out of 8. And when
Together.
I say this, yes, like in common. Like
In
emotional
common. Wow.
intimacy.
Wow.
Or physical. So
Yeah.
couples say to me, 3.
A good couple.
Yeah, like if you have 3 out of 8,
You're good.
you actually have a solid marriage.
Wow.
And even if you're not doing that great, you have enough to build
To keep you
a stronger
yes.
marriage.
Wow.
So the first time I heard that, I was like, excuse me. Did you mean like 5?
Yeah, I think you meant 5.
6?
Yeah.
Like I'll allow that 1. Maybe you're off on 1, but no, 3. And out of those 8, only 1 we're talking about monogamous union. Only 1 cannot be met outside of the marriage, and that would be the sexual one. But the other 7 can be met elsewhere.
Yeah.
So if I was to, let's say, use myself as an example, one of the intimacies is recreational intimacy. So say I'm with a guy and he loves to go to Karura every Sunday morning for a run.
Yeah.
So I'm not his girl.
Okay.
right?
I thought you were going to say that. Like that. No. Okay, me and running also, not friends.
Running
Yes.
in the forest where there could be snakes. So if he tries to force me,
Yes.
it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
We may last 5 years, even 10, even
Yeah.
20. Haven't
But
you
that
seen
will
couples
always-
that are... Yeah, because that's not me, and I'll become resentful. And
Yes. Or he'll become resentful because he's always trying to convince you to do this thing that he enjoys.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or he's saying, if you worked out, your tummy would be tight. No, you're getting a pillow. If you don't want a pillow, you can find some other person, some other place.
Yeah.
Recreational intimacy could be an area of intimacy that we do not share, and that we're allowed not to share.
Okay, I like that. So what's the option?
Because freedom, right?
Yeah.
So the option is for him to call you or your husband and your boyfriend and say,
Let's go.
and I'm happy to come along and
Yes.
provide the snacks after your
Yes.
run, but... And I'll not be running.
2 hours later. I'll come 2 hours after
Yeah.
you're done
And
with snacks.
The thing, too, is if he feels there's an effort from me
Yes.
to appreciate that,
Yeah.
to participate, even though he knows. So if I ever say, babe, let me join you tomorrow, he will know it's for him.
Yes.
Because it's not for me,
Yeah.
right? And that's what Satir was talking about, that in this 8, allow 7 out of 8 to have some space to breathe,
Okay.
some room, some freedom.
Some freedom. Yeah.
Because once somebody starts feeling choked, suffocated.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
How do you find out what somebody's 8 are? Is this something you will talk about?
Yeah,
How do you?
in my office I
Yeah.
even do a test with them.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me run them down for you real quick.
Yes.
So I use an acronym. RISE, like RISE, and PASS, PASS, right?
Okay.
So recreational intimacy, emotional intimacy, sexual intimacy, intellectual intimacy, I said them backwards. Recreational, intellectual,
Yeah, I was like-
sexual, emotional, and then physical intimacy, aesthetic intimacy, the love of beautiful things
Yes.
together.
Brazilian weave.
Yes, or going to the opera, or going to
To watch
just
the
admire
sunset.
things.
Yes.
See, and he's wondering, why am I staring at a setting sun? What are you
My
doing
ex
to
was like
me?
that. My ex was like that.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to Hyde Park to do what again?
Yes.
To walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then so social intimacy, where you're getting together with people and it
Friends
makes you feel connected.
Yeah.
And then spiritual intimacy.
Okay.
Right?
Your beliefs of
Yeah.
God and
Yeah. Because if you're Buddhist and I'm atheist, that may not be an area where we click.
But we can allow each other
at that
to click
space.
with other
Yes.
people.
Or if you're so into church and I'm not, how can I participate, and then how can you release me from the obligation
Of waking up every Sunday
Yes.
morning. So
Love-
my compromise would be I'll drop you and I'll come and I'll pick you
I
and
won't
we'll do
even drop
lunch
you.
afterwards.
I will come for, when is family day?
I
How many
see.
times a year is family day? No, I'll not drop you, because I'm not
'Cause that
waking up
means I have to
early on a
wake up.
Sunday morning or I will have lunch for you.
Yes.
Or
We go
I
to
can
lunch
come
afterwards.
to you some Sundays, like if you're bishop or the pope or I don't know.
Or if they're doing a couple something.
Yes, but there's some space. For me, I'm a singer, for example.
Yes.
And I know opera is not So opera,
I was blown away. You sing
is-
opera. I was like, wow.
I do, but you know it's not for everybody, right?
Yes,
So
I
if I
know,
have a partner and I obligate him to come to every single,
Recital. You'll be like,
but if I tell him, oh, I'm singing at this fancy hotel, or I'm singing for the president, I'd love for you to be there. He's gonna, because he loves me, he's gonna know this is important to her, and so I want to be there to support
yes.
her. I'm gonna know it's for me
Yeah, yeah.
because he doesn't.
Yeah, he can't even understand what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so to obligate him to that is really like miserable.
Yeah.
So do you see how it's called the 8 intimacies if you want to look
Just
at
say them like it's rise and pass.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I actually came up with that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I told
like
the
that.
lecturer afterwards. I have an acronym.
Say rise. No, I'll pass. I'll rise to that.
Would you
and
rise
like,
to that or will you
you
pass on
pass.
that? Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, me too. So
Yeah.
I think you find in many places where there's infidelity, there's an area of obligation
That okay. So you're trying to force somebody.
into some
Something,
box
yeah,
that
that they're
you, in your infinite wisdom, have
Yes.
decided is the
The
only
thing.
way.
Yeah.
Because even the guy who wants to go to Karura, must it be Karura, or is that the only recreation we know?
Where would you go if not Karura?
We can do paintball. I mean,
Okay.
I'm really not one for like blah, 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 but if it's important, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I have been, for example, with a church group of people that loved to cycle.
So you cycled?
No.
You don't look like you did.
I was in the first aid car.
Oh, really?
And I cheered
Really?
for them and I hugged them at the end and then we all went and did
had
paintball.
breakfast or something.
Yeah, and then they actually thought, oh my God, so she
She's
really
so
is not going to
cool.
ride with us.
Yes, but she's
But when
there.
we're doing like the wall, what do you call that wall that
the rock
climbing?
Rock climbing, yeah.
For that, I was so in.
I did that with my sister actually. She was doing Lewa, and I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm going to run."
marathon?
But I went there
Yes.
as a spectator, and we
will
drove
go with
around in
you.
cars and woo as they were running past.
Yes.
So, yeah, and that
and
was
then
fun.
they feel exactly
Yeah.
you had fun.
Yes.
And you didn't feel forced to
Exactly.
be there. And she had fun because her sister got to see her doing this really because
Exactly.
it's a pretty incredible
Yeah,
run.
it is. It's amazing.
This is just not for us.
Yes.
But we will love you and support you as you do your thing. So when you remove the obligations, why don't you text me every day?
Yeah, and I hate texting. Like somebody might hate texting or.
That's it.
Yeah.
So many people have said to me, I really can't, I'd rather just call you and talk to you.
Yeah.
And maybe she needs that text too. So is there even room for compromise?
So these are things we have to sit down and talk about.
And it requires courage
Yeah, and
because it
honesty.
means being your authentic self.
Yeah.